Welcome to episode 13 of To Be Honest, the relatable weekly podcast where you ask us questions and we discuss topics. I am your co-host, and I watched Mary Poppins 3 times in one day.
And I am your host, the guy who finally posted a TikTok last week. We're back this week for another podcast. Sorry about no podcast last week.
I was deathly sick.
she wasn't deathly sick.
I just lost my voice.
Well, I think you had like that sort of like bronchitis thing,
Right.
like a few weeks back, and I think it kind of resurfaced. It was better for a little bit. She wasn't in a state to record.
No,
so.
It was bad. You wouldn't have been able to hear me. I would have been like a whisper.
And it was like constant like
coughing.
Like, what do they call those?
Guffawing.
Those those tusk seals. What are those called? Walruses. It was like constant walrus cough. It was like,
Do
anyway.
walruses cough?
Well, they go like, That's actually kind of what they sound like.
Oh. We're gonna bring back that
segment.
segment.
We're not gonna bring back no. Anyway, we got a new podcast this week. Technically, the things on our papers are not current because we prepared a podcast for last week. I just didn't realize how like kind of sick you actually were.
Yeah.
And so I walked in and I was like, we're just not going to do it. But we had already prepared for the podcast, so we're just using the same one this week that we prepared last week. So it's still completely new to you guys, and we haven't talked about it yet.
Right.
It's just that it's a week old on paper. One thing on here, I probably should have updated, but I haven't.
Is it the highs and lows?
It's the high and low.
Yeah, no, I just read mine and it's not even remotely accurate.
We'll explain, except, I don't know. Anyway.
Quote of the day?
Yeah, usually we start with the quote, so let's do it.
Where you are a year from now is a reflection of the choices you make right now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a really loud train. I feel like you might be able to hear that.
Well, it's not, no, I doubt it. It's not a loud train, it's just...
I felt like it was loud. It was loud.
It's loud. It's normal. Why is it still going? That's weird. We live like a couple miles away from a railroad, and the you know how loud train horns are. They can be heard from really far away. But anyway, back to the quote. It's still going. Back to the quote. I guess that makes sense. It's like I mean, really, that's one where it's like self-explanatory, I guess.
Yeah, if you like are like, you're like, oh, just keep working out, and you're like tomorrow, and you're just like there and you don't work out, but then
that's called
like,
procrastinating.
Right, you have to start working out right now to make like a difference in a year. Basically.
Well, then, yeah, right. You can't wait to start then. Well, actually, the thing about working out is like and this is why everyone gives up. This is why everyone gives up on working out, though, and this is why.
Hard?
No, this is not even that, because who knows where you're starting from, but it's because there's not immediate results.
Yeah.
And this is why at the beginning of every year, gyms just get extremely rich.
Right.
Because
you have to be able to stay consistent, and I mean that's just not always working.
And well, you know what's actually nice for that? Actually having someone like a workout partner, someone to like do it with.
A little buddy.
Yeah, someone who like you guys can both or similar fitness levels, and you can do it too. Anyway, this isn't fitness tips on the podcast. Before we do highs and lows, though, I had an interesting. Why is that train?
It's so loud. It's so.
But you only.
Why'd you not even be able to hear it? We're just talking about a train, and then like I doubt they
can hear it. I doubt they can hear it. Yeah, I doubt it. We went just for a second because I want to see you hear. But well, I don't know why he's still blowing the horn though, because he's only supposed to do it as he's approaching the crossing for cars. But
oh yeah, I forgot
that was long past.
I forgot trains weren't just like their own thing.
What do you mean?
Like they have like a conductor, dude.
Yeah, there's someone driving it.
That's weird.
Anyway, before we get into the highs and lows, which typically would come next, I've come up, and this is a one-time thing. Why? Okay. Anyway, this is a one-time thing. But I was doing a project for school, and I came across a quote. Okay, and I actually found this interesting. This
is your high?
No, this is my quote.
Oh, well then I get a fun fact.
If you want to, but I'm saying
I have a fun fact.
I'm saying I wrote this down because it made me laugh when I read this quote because of how contradicting it is.
Okay.
The self-contradicting the quote is, and it's this. This is a guy saying this, I'll tell you who wrote it in a minute, but he says, I am a man of fixed and unbending principles, the first of which is to be flexible at all times. Everett Dirksen. Is who wrote it. But I thought it was funny, because I'm reading, well, and it's some, like leadership course, and so I'm sitting there, and it's like, it's talking about, I don't even know what it's talking about, but people, well, time out, though. This was like a week ago now. You know?
Okay, yeah.
So, that's fair enough. I don't remember, and you guys don't want to hear about my score.
And neither do you guys.
But I just thought it was funny, because it was like, straight, what do you call those? It's not a 180, when you go back on yourself. Anyway, segment time, highs and lows, let's do it. Do you want to start?
Sure. So my high was that I did my own nails and they were so cute. I don't even have them anymore.
Yeah.
So that's not relevant. And
No.
my low was that I was sick, which is not relevant anymore.
I woke up this morning, I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I have, like, my throat's a little bit, like, itchy.
Did you eat a banana?
No, not like itchy, like something you'd be allergic to. I mean, like, it's a little bit like,
You're about to get sick.
irritated. No, irritated, that's the right word. So if it sounds like I sound, I don't know what I sound like, but, my high and low, also from last week, and I'll explain this in a minute, what I mean. But the high was, we had really cool weather. It snowed, and I'll explain what I mean by cool. It's not a play on words there, I'm just trying. And then the low was, at the time, I still had allergies, but they were depleting, and now, well, and now they're coming back again. Anyway, it's just all a full circle. But I was gonna say, because last week, it was like 60-something degrees one day. The next day, it decided to snow. And it was like like the snow stuck. It was a couple inches. It completely covered the grass in our yard. But it was really bizarre because a little bit throughout the day, as it started to melt, you can see like spring shade of grass. So like a deep, like saturated grass, like blossoming trees, like pink trees, and then snow on the ground. And it was really weird, just like seeing that.
It's like how everyone like imagines it, like like the Narnia scene, like where it's snowy and then they walk in and it's like spring.
Or like what do they call it? It's like a springtime. Spring in the winter or something, where it's like sometimes you'll have like a random tree with like all of its leaves, or like a rose will randomly be growing even though there's like snow everywhere. I think that's what people say. I don't remember.
I don't think that's a thing.
But yeah, I thought that was just interesting because the weather was really weird. And then this week, first 2 days of this week, it was 80 degrees twice, and so
yeah,
just way bizarre. The weather this year has been way bizarre because we don't usually have freezing temperature. Well, we have freezing temperatures in the winter, but we don't have sub-degree. And it was like minus 30 at one point, which was really weird. But
is it negative 30 is what you would call it, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did I say?
You said minus.
What's the same sign? It means the same thing.
That's like when I used to say one tooth.
One tooth?
One tooth instead of just
one half. That's right. You did used to say that. I did upload a TikTok just before we get started. I'd just like to say. So it's gonna look like, if people open the TikTok, it's gonna look like I uploaded it and then went back to being inconsistent again because we didn't even do a podcast last week, even though it had been like 3 weeks prior. Anyway, we're gonna get into the stuff we prepared here. Yeah. And
wait, did I? Yes, I did.
Because because you just started the high and low, I'm gonna start this one, and I have a little bit of a question. This is an interesting one.
Isn't this one just you, though?
What?
Is this one just you?
What? Is this what?
Never mind, just keep going.
Okay, I don't understand. But what is something that you use a lot, like a gadget or like an item that you use on a daily basis, that's actually like really smart when you think about what it is? So like,
you did not give me time to prepare.
No, but like, so think about like some things you use, and it's actually like when you actually just stop to think about like what its purpose does, and like how simple it is. It's actually like kind of smart. Whoever invented it.
Oh, like somebody else. Like I'm not.
No.
I thought you were saying that I just took something random and used it for something else.
No. I mean like like scissors. Like it's actually kind of really smart. They kind of put
like
two
a
knives
washing
next to each other.
machine?
No, that doesn't count though. Not like a machine. I mean like
Okay.
something like kind of like handheld or something that you like use to do something. You know.
I use silverware, and I'd say silverware because, like, the fact someone thought of, like, 3 different, you know.
That's true.
Well, I guess there's more because there's, like, a salad fork. Anyway, but
Yeah, but it's still like fork.
That's true.
Salad fork is still like a fork.
but there's sporks.
Well,
That was a bad idea. I feel like that's not great.
Well, I think that it was literally just invented for school cafeterias, just to make it cheaper for
Yeah.
production.
But, like, silverware because, you know, it's... I mean, I don't always use a knife when I'm, you know, spreading butter on my toast. I use a spoon sometimes, but...
What?
Yeah, like...
Okay, I'll use a spoon if it's peanut butter, maybe. Not on purpose, but, like, sometimes there just, like, aren't any clean ones, and it's, like, I'm too lazy to do it, so I just grab a spoon. You're gonna say silverware?
That's what I thought of so far, yes.
I mean, it makes sense. It's kind of interesting that they have different types for like different ages. Like remember when like if you're little you have like plastic ones and you like would always bite it. There's like teeth marks. That's kind of Dora.
I had a Dora spoon.
Oh, you did?
Yes, it was great.
Cereal boxes used to come with little like plastic.
Oh my gosh! Wait, the little
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you remember when
okay.
like? Do you remember? Okay, I know what you're about to say. We're not gonna time out on that one, but we bought a cereal box one time, and it there was like frozen like silverware. Like I remember it was when Frozen came out, and there was
that was like 7 years ago.
Yeah, and it was like they had like a spoon and like and stuff for eating the cereal that came with it, and I was like so amazed. I was like, "This is like a McDonald's Happy Meal."
You like flipped out the
Yeah.
Elsa, and you would eat
weird.
it.
Yeah, it had like
But
a little
the
lever.
thing that I was gonna say was the
exactly
bowl with the straw. I
was
always
gonna say
thought it wasn't clean, and I would never use the straw. You know, like there was a bowl, and then there was like a straw connected to it.
Yeah.
But I would never do that because
Why?
how do you know if the straw was clean? It's like
What do
I
you
don't
mean?
trust straws. Like I just can't.
So you're talking about and I don't even remember using these, but I know my friends they would have a bowl that had a straw attached to the lining of the bowl that went into the base of the bowl.
This is what I'm saying.
No, I know. I'm explaining it better than you did. And what you do is after you finish eating your cereal, because you would maybe if you drink the milk. Or maybe you dump it. I don't know. If it's cinnamon
I was
toast
always
crunch,
taught
you would
you
drink
should
the milk.
drink the milk,
It's good
or
for
like
not
give it to your
listening.
cat or something.
But the straw's there because so you can just drink it. And you don't even have to use your hands because it's just brilliant.
No.
Except it's not.
No,
really.
no, it's bad.
I thought what you were gonna say was one time I got
I didn't
this
even
little.
remember that Elsa's food.
One time I got this little I think this was when Finding Dory came out or something, in a cereal box. But it was an ice mold that came with cereal, and you were supposed to freeze. It was like the octopus in the movie. You were supposed to freeze milk in it, and then it'd be like an ice milk cube.
Oh no!
That's what you were supposed to do. And then,
Oh no!
and I was disturbed. I never used it. I think I threw it away because it's gross. Who wants a frozen milk?
I used to
Milk is already so dodgy
like,
anyway because it's too thick. It's like thicker
chocolate
than
milk if you froze it. I feel like that'd be pretty good.
No, it's
'Cause-
just all off limits. It's just nasty. Honestly, I can't think about milk too much anymore. It's like milk is just I'm iffy with milk. Sometimes
I don't eat cereal anymore just because whenever I'm sick, it just makes it worse, and so now
yeah.
I can't have it.
If I think about what I'm about to eat too much in the span it takes for me to walk to the food, I just won't eat it. Because it's like, okay, that's kind of gross. Like, if I walk from my bed to the kitchen, I'm like, oh, I'm going to eat breakfast. Let's eat some cereal. And I'm like, milk? And then I'm just not. I'll have, like, oatmeal instead or something. But, anyway, your little gadget is silverware. I don't know what I'd say. I mean, maybe, like, I don't know. Maybe something I use on a daily. Maybe like a mouse. Maybe like plug in.
Yeah.
Like computer.
Isn't yours wireless?
No.
Oh.
It can't be because there's too much latency.
Oh yeah. There's all those lights on it. It's all fancy. Little gaming mouse.
Usually if it's wireless, there's more.
I just have
latency.
a gray mouse.
But it's I think that's actually a pretty smart product. And actually, mine can technically hover. The sensor is actually that strong. It doesn't actually have to touch the surface. It just like senses it. Anyway, we're not gonna talk about my mouse. Anyway, do you have something?
Yes. So, what is one? Mine kind of goes with your theme.
Oh, okay.
But sort of. What was one childhood toy or object that you remember or you still have?
Okay, we can do both. So I was actually thinking about this the other day because we were planning to do a garage sale. And actually because of the scheduling conflict, I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to. But well, that was weird. My voice my voice cracked. I think it's very just worn out for whatever reason. But I had this, and I don't remember exactly what it was. I can very vaguely picture it, but it was like a massive. These were like plastic. It was like massive fish or something. And these little figure guys came with it, and they had like swappable, like
What?
like weapons and stuff. And I don't know. It was like the best thing ever somehow. But I sold that in a garage sale. At a garage sale once I got older, and I think that's what made me think of it.
Fish.
I don't even remember what it was. It was some like maybe it was something. But also I guess like maybe like Nerf guns or like Legos because I still have those. So I mean, for what I have, probably.
We got those when we were older though. I feel like the Nerf.
Not
guns.
Lego. Well, Nerf guns maybe, but
Yeah.
no. I've just had them for so long, and I've used them at like other people's houses for so long, so it's like never been new to me. Like I don't remember a time before like Legos.
Yeah.
Or Nerf guns, actually. Oh, I got this so cool. I'm not gonna talk about it. I was gonna reminisce about the cool Lego sets I got. But okay, what did you think about this? What toy?
I just now thought about it.
No. I guess I still have like stuffed animals. I guess a few of them like that I kept. But
Yeah, I only have a couple now.
I feel like that's normal. But, like it gets too cluttered if you still have like 50.
I definitely had 50 up until last week.
So
I had these like Dora keys. So it was like Dora, right? And then it had like keys on it, and they were like fake plastic, very childy.
Like you're supposed to like chew on it.
Right.
Yeah.
And we had this bunk bed growing up, and if you know like bunk beds, sometimes they have like a little tube thing.
Your sister and
and
yes.
you can open it and it's just like empty down there.
I know.
Well, I dropped my Dora keys down there, and I guess
that.
I was just crying because nobody could get it.
I remember trying to get it out actually.
Yeah, nobody could get it out, and so we just put the lid back on. And actually, like last year or 2 years ago, I found it again.
Really?
I opened it up and I shined a flashlight down there.
And you had like flashbacks?
And there was the Dora keys, and I got it out.
Oh.
I just used like a little thing. It was like it was like long scissors, but it was for the fire.
Prongs or
No.
tongs? Or
No, the
pliers?
No. You know what you do to the fire? You like poke it and stuff.
Yeah.
But you know there's like that one that like is scissors.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's what I just said.
Okay, well that, I just reached down there and got the Dora keys, and I don't have them anymore.
People are totally not gonna understand what you're saying. It's you know how there's always a bed knob. Basically for bunk bed, because it's all detachable most of the time. There's a cap you put on it, and the cap comes off, so you can add like an extra pipe there for support or whatever. But we never had the pipe there.
Yeah.
So the cap was just always on it, and it was easy to take off. It was basically like a lid, because the tube that the bed was supported on was hollow. So yeah, that's how it got dropped down there, and then it was dropped and forgotten, apparently. And I vaguely remember the keys, but I remember more you being sad that they were dropped down there.
I don't even know why I needed them anymore.
We didn't need them. It was just,
They were great.
Don't need much. I just, let's, ooh, how about this? You've accidentally turned into a flamingo.
Oh, no.
Okay, you did first last week, it's my turn. You've accidentally turned into a flamingo, and you have no wings, okay?
I'm not going to cheat this time.
And you're trying to get up a tree, because your wings are up there, okay? Wingless flamingo, and you can't get up the tree. The only things you have to help you get up the tree is a single spinach leaf, a wooden duck, and a printed photo of Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
How do you get up to your wings?
Okay, so I just walk up the tree. No, so I eat the spinach.
It's like 30. It's like 30 feet.
Okay, so I eat the spinach because it's good for you.
Right. Like Popeye strength.
Right. It's Popeye's spinach, and I'm like, man, I feel great right now. And I see the picture of Nicolas Cage, and I'm like, you know what? I could use these as fake wings.
Oh, okay.
And so I tape them on with the wooden duck's saliva.
Yeah.
And I walk up the tree like a chicken, and I get my wings back, and then, you know, I'm a flamingo then. But I prefer the Nicolas Cage wings.
Yeah, because you keep those tape wings.
Right.
You know that the longest recorded flight of a chicken is 13 seconds. Chickens.
I mean, that's longer than me.
They just cannot operate their wings. Like, no, try though they might. They just can't.
Clip chicken wings.
Well, I don't know. You don't have to. Like, they can't fly.
Well, I think that they can, like, fly out of their, like,
sometimes,
coop.
well, the coop usually is enclosed, but they have, like, I don't want to say grazing area, but like an area they roam most of the time, and sometimes people have netting over that, just because they can get out, but it's not necessarily easy. But I guess you would I thought you'd do something like I don't know what I was thinking with the Nicolas Cage photo. I was just trying to think of a third item, and I was like, this is kind of funny.
I don't know why we always think that we have to provide them with 3 items. That's not in the
It's
rule
not.
book.
No, it's just for some reason that's a good amount, and most of it's loud.
I tried to make it loud. This is for dramatic effect.
Yeah, but they can't hear that.
This is your.
Oh, it's my turn.
It's your turn.
Okay.
If you. Really?
That trade is. I guess we get a lot.
A menace.
We get a lot of trades. I guess.
Okay. If we can't hear it, you better like
put the paper down. That's really loud.
Okay.
No, put it down.
If you can't hear it, you better stick like train noises in or something.
I'm not tricked.
Okay. If you. Why did I say we?
I don't know.
If you were stuck in a shrinking room,
Okay.
getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and you have a photo, a knife, and a water bottle.
A photo of who?
It's just a photo.
Of what?
It's like an empty photo.
That you mean like what do they call it?
No, it's
Polaroid?
a photo of a hat.
What kind of hat? This is very important.
A Newsie hat.
Newsie hat. Okay, so this is actually interesting. So this is like a trash compactor scenario.
No, it's just like getting smaller.
All sides of the room is shrinking.
Yeah, the top, the bottom. Well, I guess the bottom's not shrinking.
Yeah,
it's just everything else but the bottom.
Okay, so this is I don't actually know if you know this, but Newsies back in the early 1900s would they'd work very, very long hours in the sun. Right. And they'd sweat a lot, so they needed good water. And if you can do this very specific ritual, not many people know this, but if you find a picture of an old Newsie hat, which I just happen to have in this situation, you can use a knife and you poke 4 distinct holes in very specific places. I'm not actually willing to disclose how to do this, but you poke holes in the picture, and because you have the water, it actually entices them, old people, and they come out of the picture wanting their hat in the water. And now I have a knife and a Newsie in the room with me, and with our combined strength, we can actually push the knife under the wall, and it jams it, and so it stops shrinking. And then at that point, we can both go back into the picture, and now I'm in the 1920s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you forgot to do was there was actually a door in the room, and you could have just left.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I didn't want to do that because
Okay.
You didn't tell me about the door.
Sure.
I felt like that.
I mean, I didn't say in the only way out. I didn't say that.
I feel like when we do this, we always make it like this is like one of my favorite segments because it is fun to think about it. But I feel like when we do this, it's we always make it some kind of like crisis scenario, like something is happening and but like I feel like that's the only way to do it if you're like trying to solve a problem.
Yeah.
Like what would be another way to do it? Would it be like I really
I guess
just
if
can't
you
think of
just
anything.
really wanted to go to like a baseball game and you didn't have enough money.
Yeah, crisis though. Still, same thing. Or like, oh, your surfboard broke. How do you fix? But like, still, same thing. And so I don't know how you would like.
I don't think you can. Like, it's like, oh, you have a needle and a thread and a hat, and your hat is broken. Like, are you gonna sew it? Like that doesn't make sense.
No, but it's still crisis. Again.
It's your turn.
My turn for a question or anything. I just realized how weird that looks. I have like
I know. I saw like the banner thing.
But they look like teeth. Actually, that's my bad. Anyway, why? This is an interesting question, and I'm not going to pretend to know because I'm not there yet. But I'm going to ask you this, and we will hypothesize. Why do? And we talked about this a little bit, but I'm going to go more in depth. More than like realistically why, but more as like mentally why this is just stops. But why do sleepovers end as adults?
Probably because it gets weird. No, I don't think my sleepovers will ever end.
You say that, but like they've already become lesser.
I think a lot of people
I have a theory about this.
I think some people live together and it's just like I know a lot of people that live with their best friends, so it's like a sleepover every day.
Yeah.
But
well, being roommates is something completely different.
Well,
what I'm saying is like why when you are like in high school like you still have sleepovers. I think it's just considered a childish thing, and I think you're just expected to grow up, and anything that was considered childish or something you did in your childhood isn't worth like
doing
upon.
anymore.
Yeah.
And
feels like a waste of time. I guess, but it's like there's no like.
There's always
I don't know
something
why
that
it would
people are
seem
gonna
childish.
think is more important because you did in your childhood.
Yeah, but like you ate in your childhood, like like why, or like you did sports in your childhood, so like are professional sportsmen like so.
Well, actually, a lot of people do think that way. They think that if you're a professional sports player, then you're just playing a game.
Well, they are, but it's also their career. So.
Right, but people don't think that way. Like, I mean, we've all seen those Disney Channel movies. You need to give up basketball so that you can go and be a doctor or a lawyer or something.
Yeah, whatever.
Just because that's not really considered something important. And I think it's honestly just every person's, like, I think everybody's influenced by something, and I don't think sleepovers have been a thing for that long.
It's just I think the reason it ends, and I have another theory, but I think the reason is because people realize how weird the term just sleepover is. Like if you just called it like, or I'm just like staying at a friend's house, like that just sounds so much better. It's like you're just hanging out.
People do say
and you
that.
just happen to sleep there,
I think more
like what's the difference?
Teenagers do it now than before. Like when you're older, I think, because like, I mean, I've seen TikToks and stuff like that. People
had to stay in for a long time.
That's
and
true.
now they're not. And I thought that one reason why when you get older is the fact that I feel like when you're younger, when you're like still in your like single digits, maybe early, like maybe I was like 11-year-old or like 9-year-old and stuff. Most kids maybe they do, but like the kids I would always hang out, like they didn't have phones and stuff, and so the only way you would ever like see them or communicate is if either if you go to school together or if you're like, I don't know, if you're on the same sports team or whatever. So it's like it was kind of like not a rare event for it to happen, but it was like it was fun because you like you weren't able to like constantly have that open, like
Right.
you could just talk to them whenever you want.
Like,
but I think
we didn't FaceTime people growing up. When we FaceTime people who lived in like California. But, whenever we wanted to play, we would go to their house and knock on their door.
Well, neighbors is different, but I'm talking about like,
I just don't think people do that anymore. If they want to hang out with their neighbors, I think that they just text them.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, but it's not like we never had our neighbor's phone. Like,
No.
they didn't have...
Well, we didn't have our own.
Yeah, and so it was like, what you would call, like, the house phone? Like, what? That'd just be weird. But I thought that because people are, like, maybe... Okay, so, like, I'm going to say, like, now. Okay, Marco Polo is great because you just send, like, little short videos back and forth instead of having to call someone or texting.
I send long videos with my friends. Like, we talk about the whole day.
Okay, but like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, you don't have to, like, you can still do stuff. You don't have to be on, like, a phone call.
Right.
You don't, it's not like texting. Like, it's not just words. You're actually seeing their face, like, talk to you. And that, I think, is, like, one of the man, it's actually...
It's downpouring outside.
Falling down out there, man. It's...
no, there should be some thunder and lightning coming.
we got a storm here. So hopefully we'll finish this podcast. I don't want to finish it early, though, because we're only half an hour in.
Yeah.
I thought that because of the fact that people can communicate easier as they get older, that's why they don't necessarily do the sleepover anymore. And not even sleepover, but just like go over to people's houses, because like that doesn't even happen when you're an adult, you know. And part of the reason is probably career and whatever, and you see like your coworkers are your friends at that point. You see them every day, unless you work from home, and then I don't even know. But
I think a lot of people would just rather do something with their friends than just go to do a sleepover and just sit and
at their
talk.
house. Yeah, I get that. Like they'll go like golfing or whatever.
But I mean, I sit and talk with my friends all the time. That's basically all we do. We don't really do stuff. Like there'll be a special day where we go out and we'll thrift or something. But that's rare.
Yeah. I think the reason it stops is because you stop as you get older. Because not only do you have less time for that, even though you don't have school, because in the summer you have time, or even in the school year, you still sometimes you can do it on weekends. But I'm saying because you get older, I think you just prioritize, not necessarily better, but just differently, and technically better if you're choosing like to spend your time studying for
and I think
career
that
or whatever.
Especially when you're older, like, and you're getting to the age where you get your first job and stuff like that, you're constantly losing friends and getting new friends.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Or maybe you're just losing friends. And it's just happening
sad.
all the time because, not to be weird or anything, but a lot of kids are just stupid around that age.
Oh yeah.
And it's just everybody's losing friends left and right, and you don't really have somebody that you want to necessarily do that with anymore.
Well, you do.
Not a lot of people have that.
Oh, well, I'm lucky that, I don't know.
You are. I tell you that.
In my case, my best friend and I, we've never lived within a half an hour of each other. And actually, maybe we do now. Maybe close. Maybe like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's not like during school we weren't at the same place, and so it's like, why? So like that was like, we'd have to plan it and stuff, and so that kind of made it like a novelty, and it was really fun. And I don't know, maybe because of that, I like enjoy it more now.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely grew up to where everything had to be planned. Like, I just feel like.
Well, okay, when you're a kid, especially a young kid, I think it should be. Right. Okay, I don't think it'd be
I think especially when you're older too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't think it should be like last minute walk out of school and like, oh, can I go home with,
I
Billy
feel like that's
or whatever?
Not realistic. Or like someone's like, hey, you want to go to the mall? And like.
Yeah, that doesn't actually happen.
I don't think that happens.
That doesn't
like,
actually happen.
Do you think I have nothing to do?
Yeah, well, we don't.
Yeah, okay, but like, but I just think, I don't even remember what I was going to say anymore, so never mind. My next question is boring, so I think you should just go and do the last question.
But we have time for a couple more.
I don't want to do my questions.
Do it. You
it's
prepared
really
it? Let's do
lame.
it. No, it's fine. Well, because I have one more, and then we'll end better than that.
Okay.
Yeah. So go.
Oh, no, you do yours.
No, we're ending with a good one. That's why we're doing mine last.
I really don't want to say
Just say it. Just literally just say it. Come on. It's not what? Just read your paper. You prepared this last week. It's fine.
Okay, if you...
Just do it.
If you were... I can't even read because the light... Okay. If you were... So just imagine, if you were 9 again...
Okay.
Okay, I don't know why I chose that
number.
number.
I remember 9.
If you were 9 again, how many people would you say you were like buddies? And like what specifically? Like how long were you guys friends for?
Before that, and then up to now at this point now?
Right.
Okay. Most of my childhood memories actually come from being a 9 and 10-year-old, just because I don't remember much before that. I don't know why, it's just, I don't know. But, as a 9 and 10-year-old, let's see, I did, upward soccer, for a long time. This is common amongst children, but, and
I did it as well.
I guess as a 9 and 10-year-old, I was still doing it.
Oh my gosh.
Which actually doesn't seem that long ago now that I think about it. But
it was so long ago.
It was so long ago. But I had friends from there, and because we would have practice. We only had practice once a week.
That can't be right.
No.
It was every Thursday.
Yeah, and then we had a game every week.
Saturday.
Yeah. So
Back when we thought 10 a.m. was early.
No, I'd always get up before that. But so I had friends from there. I don't know them anymore. And prior to that, prior to being on the same team, I didn't really know them either. So I don't know if I'd say we were necessarily like close, just because like that was like the only person to like socialize with, because there's no one else on your team except those people. So I guess that, also...
I mean, your best friend.
Yeah, so obviously, my best friend at this point is,
That's obvious.
At that point was also my best friend, and many years before that was, I've known my whole life. So, I don't know, I guess, okay. There's not many people, even now, that I will just, like, up and, like, hang out with if they ask me to. I think of a couple, but, like... If they, I don't know, I feel like I'm cool with like 3 or 4 like close friends, you know? I don't want like, if my friend group gets too large, I lose being personal with, I'd rather be personal, okay, this is what I'm trying to say. I'd rather be personal with several people than mildly involved with 20 people, you know?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it takes
At the expense of being a less known human being. I really just don't care.
It takes me a really long time before I can trust someone. And so even, I guess my best friend now pretty much knows everything, but not everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, even though I've known her my entire life, too. But yeah, I think you're right. You lose... something. I think if you're too close with so many people, it leaves you at like a vulnerableness, and I don't think a lot of people like being too vulnerable.
I don't know about vulnerable. I think the only reason I'd see that, like, I need like a definitive, like, kind of like, this is for sure like the person I'm closest to. Otherwise, I would like get into like a mental, like, I don't know, like who my friends are type of thing. Just like, do they just talk to me because I'm there? Or anyway, but what should we call this podcast, by the way? Train.
I think we said something at the beginning. You might have to go back and listen to it.
What do you mean we said something?
I said something, and you were like, "Oh no," and you laughed about it. But I think we should genuinely call it that. I don't remember what it was though. What's your question?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'll go back and listen to it. When I'm editing this, I'll hear this right now, and then I'll go back and see if you said anything. I don't think you did.
At the beginning.
I don't think you did. Otherwise, I'll just call it like friends or train or like weather.
Nicolas
storm.
Cage.
Nicolas Cage. Anyway.
Podcast in the middle of a storm. The eye of the tornado. The eye of the hurricane.
Hurricane, yeah. Okay, this is the question. And this is up for opinion. And I technically have an answer for this, but I want to see what your answer is, and then also like a realistic one. So what, scientifically, is the most revolutionizing product ever invented?
Electricity.
That wasn't invented. It was discovered.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Okay, but
so don't. That's not an answer. Okay.
Okay.
I mean something that was made by people, and this is also the catch. It has to still be used now, like everywhere. Most revolutionizing. And make it like this revolutionized a specific category of something. So like, for.
I mean, light bulbs are pretty useful.
Okay, so for like
purifying water, clean water sources.
that wasn't just invented.
Like,
that's
it was. Like, I'm sure there's like some purifier.
That's not how water works.
That's how water works,
That's just
man.
not how water works.
Well, then the light bulb.
You're gonna say light bulb, for like domestic, like.
Well, I mean, we're kind of like right under
right
a
under
light bulb.
I guess. Okay. Okay. But what category would that be though? Because I would say like
This should just be called okay.
like a revolutionizing product in culinary fashion or something would be like sliced bread, right? Because that was like everyone talks about, oh, this is the best invention since sliced bread, but like actually, because
nobody says that.
People say that all the time.
No.
Yes, they do. People talk about sliced bread all the time.
It should just be called sliced bread.
The podcast. That's a good idea. But people talk about slice. Oh, it just got really dark outside. That's depressing. Anyway, I had an idea, and I said,
It's depressing.
what I said on my paper was, I think most revolutionizing product to transportation would be the wheel, of course, which of course used to be square, as we all know. I already made that joke before. I can't do that again. But I guess you can say, I don't even, what'd you say? Light bulb, Tom Stetson, and I'll say wheel, by wheel inventor. I don't know who invented wheel. Do you have a random fact that you want to say, by the way? Because ice
cream is the best dessert of all time.
That's not a fact. That's an opinion. Going into the real fact of the day, and it is this. I don't remember what this means. Oh, this is hilarious. Okay. I'm reading this now. This is so funny. Okay. I discovered this on the internet. Cows moo.
The internet.
In accents specific to their region, like people talk.
No.
This is true.
So they're like.
Usually, I'd awkwardly end the podcast after I said that.
Instead of Irish,
but I want to talk
if
about
they
this
were Irish,
they'd be like moo,
moo,
moo.
I don't think that's accurate. I don't.
And Americans would be like moo, and then British people would be like moo.
Moo.
That's so weird. That's.
I don't like that.
That's funny.
That's
it's true. It's true.
That can't be good for human life or sources or anything. Or
That's good. It is.
That's awful.